Gaulanga Pichets. Papumapi? Yeah. We've had Oresipule. Papumapi? We've had Oshasha Dry. Papumapi? Apem Mdantsane. Oteole Koduka. Papumapi Nabo. Apem Mdantsane. Osex Manuel. Papumapi? Mdantsane. Not to mention the gospel artists at national level. Okanyi Sangas. No man bongo Tuabe. But produce Webi. As Downship, who can also forget the Afro-pop artist Yodumo, Upatishama Janis, so I got 9, where Tula was splash. Right now, Kumbulabani in the 80s. Upuma Pinae? Yeah, so there's always been a wealth of talent. This sport, you know, the man is head. Right before the man, you know, we also forget Irabi heritage. Esnayo up in Mdantsane. Oba Ubaz Makesha, Ubrabas, a legend, young Boglo, a producer, Apanai. Uba Uma died, which why I'm proud to mention his name here now. He was actually turning 80, get 70th March. He's the one running Amatiki Uzobugela, British Lions for 1976. Zidalabisa Tugashe. The only time on toy British Lions lost a match, they lost it against Border. P at Downship. Ajigaman Gesi Ebetiwe P at Downship. Where's the Dawai win? But Africa at Downship Batini? Abed. We've also had Obao or Green Monkey and Abacum Porto, Noma Lucy, Nomonia. Obviously, there's a reason who's trying to dance and make house boxing. The legends of Sugapa. Some of you may know Lois Onja. Ubra Lois, before they promote Adewayone official in boxing South Africa, he was one of the first black champions for 1976 in South Africa. We know the legendary Happy Boy in Clutch. Akom Dungamazi Apem Mdantsane is the home here. Ochawa, Mkosana Jongilanga, Ozweli Nongolo, Ombeni Luzipo, Odwa. They're all former champions of Vioka Kaza, of Victor Sonaba, of Mushmakapi, when Melonewam, former world champion Yena, Ucheki Kumulus, Mtoweli Club, Sasmunda, who was in the 80s as well. All those are boxing greats. Zalapu Zolile Biki, when Melonewam Naya, Kurul Makeba Yena, your nephew Yam, former SA champions Zonge Ezo. Obviously, I know it by that Gaman Daka and Bakanga, you welcome later. Of Viani Pungu or Makepula, they put us on the world map board as world title holders. Katbakon Lavanya was not Joey Ombulelo Botile. What did I end? Right? Monde Pula, wording in Ayo Apa, the Divana, their relative Yakia was a Kubega and Pula. Did the Film Festival celebrated 6 years of Mdantsane, and incidentally, it's on Kanganya Mdabwe, who won the Pula, who was the boxing champion. Upramzi, the late Pramzi, or Pumekuye, each champion, the Sanjay Sake. We also have Apiman Lindi, Manikanga Yelendo, Nori, Frababala Sele, or Pagamile Jacobs. Top referees, Sugabi, a township. Nagmani Nakoyo Apa, the first female judge in the history of boxing in South Africa. Guess what? Usugabi? Apet Mdantsane township. Sinazo is struggle heroes. Right? We've had Adile Machoba, Papuma up as township, Osipobam, Tudu Zelitong, by the way, I found Kasamu, why President Kanumsa. All right? To the Litong was 78. Usamu was only formed in 1987. Yeah. We've had Otozamile Kweta, SAU president, yeah, South African and Allied Workers Union, Omzwanile, Mambuye, Osisan Jigelaga, Omamunos Vima Pisa Nabul, who are ministers at the moment, Umamunopolo Kivit, Premier Melone Wamnae. About 33 quarter, all right. Upapa Bajut, Nayasamazi, no yourself, that on that. I was fortunate ukumhambela before asweleke esibhedlele, but waswelele Pretoria, but he never made it. President of the time, Jacob Zuma, arranged that task with coordinating abefundisi abazawuqhuba la service wathumela ke uMaNtuli umongameli welo xesha uba uZuma basuka phi oba uOndala here eMdantsane oba uTyikwe noba uMazwayi baspende iminyaka emininzi eRobben Island. All those heroes ziproduced apha eTownship. There's another war veteran engafani kangaka, uBragep ubawo uMosulu. UMosulu was a friend of mine, usweleke qala kwe-COVID ena 95. uMosulu yena yi-war veteran nge-Second World War wayese-Europe esilwa noHitler. That's the richness ye-history ebesiyifumana kubantu baseMdantsane nase-township in general. Now uthi umbuzo, why am I telling you this? Two reasons. One, sometimes abantu need to be reminded. Ithi phambi kwabo bangayithini? Like lamzekelo benifuleka out. There's a quick one before the ngoba lebelapha izolo. Tell izandla. Are you 3 questions? Okay. Fine. Nilapha namhlanje. Kweli gumbi sikulo zingaphi first rate total top and bottom. Jongani sanujonga first rate. Nonke benilapha izolo. And you are here today right now. Kweli gumbi andibuzi amanye amagumbi. Ndibuza eli belikhulu izolo. Please look at me. Look at me. Zingaphi first rate top and bottom around this room ka?
24.
The correct answer is 36. Now, iti lesson learned. All of you who get up in this jungle festival result. Throughout the day, in this jungle. Even today, this morning, this jungle. Even right now, but yet, not a single person of Olas Leo El Naduba Zingapi. It's still under Lord. As people, we look, but we do not observe. People buy a greeter, we township buy a greeter in Tanzania. They're only looking, they're not observing. Right? Now we need to send a message. So firstly, stop looking, start observing. This area is rich in talent, it is rich in heritage, it is rich with potential. The future, Mdantsane township in general, is so bright. So colors not be shade. Now a program director not is shade, not see through ufaki shade because uzawuphandwa the brightness of the future. And number 2, this one goes to you artists. Nila. I've talked about Gibson Kende. Guess what? You are the next Gibson Kendes. Yes. You are the next Benomois. You are the next Petninis. You are the next boxing legends. You are the next Grabby Grace. You are the next whatever field you choose to venture into. You are the next great one. In London, seize the opportunity. This is your moment. Unlike E60s, E70s, E80s, there are so many platforms that you can use to showcase talent. Make the most. All right? Show the world. Because it is that easy. You know, your cell phones, figure 194. All right? Before then, open Now, you have to write. Uzawuli deposit delivery telegram, but they took telegram now. But it is so quick. Social media platforms use them. You can do designing logos. You can design anything before you. Make a phone a tool that will work for you. So that abantu will stop looking like they pretend and actually observe more because we study the attention here. So we all have a role to play. If officers generally has a role to play in providing infrastructure support, all right? Right? Film producers, film directors, you have a role to play in actually coming to where the talent is. Because ilapha the talent, right? So when right here at home is packed and artists, I say it once again, all right? Phakamisa isandla sakho uzobona, and you can easily do it, Londo. Here's this trouble at your disposal. Enkosi kakhulu.
I-offices ezifana nale yam are open and there for you to go and ask for assistance with the resources like infrastructure. How many of you are going to go? One, two. Endleleni ebheke Golgotha Timoni qhubana majuda ngalo xesha thuqa hayi ne siyabulela kakhulu ukuthi nge-insight enjalo. One take home from Ubuti to make sure that people were listening. MCC Kasemba siyabulisa nathi sisishana siyabulela nathi
as someone who's already gone to a study the chairperson restructure esilandulela is ndiqonda umuntu of istature sakhe nophangalala kolwazi ukuba ngabana imali eyayibekelwe i-art center ingaba isazoyakha na i-art center or what's the status on that project, ngoba yayinguye oyena mntu waye at the forefront of even accessing the funds. But as it stands, thina silapha on the ground asinalo ulwazi uba ithini kwayo yayinintsi imali wayesiwendileyo uba siyicele yayofikela ku-26 million. So ndinomdla uqonda uba does he have any information on the status of that project and whether izomqala senior or there are delays too.
As this is a when was it? Yeah. Oh, I for our context, not you. Oh, no, tomorrow.
Around March. Somebody to plan and then.
Yeah. It was actually 2021, not 2022. So that is a family address once and all, but it's fine. I-COVID ilimaze isizwe ngendlela. All right. Nyanselo sasinemali engange-10 million which we had set aside for upgrade of the Mdantsane Center. Nezinye i-department nazo za-promise was a pledge as the contributions. I'm not sure the total, maybe he sold it but our portion was 10 million. Ngelishwa i-COVID yandi baba kanzima. Some of you might know, some of you might not know. I was ICU in hospital for 6 months. All right. If they had told up, you will see that people is our pipe in coma. Now a lot happens now. Okay, that time we are. That was 6 months later is still steady. Chinchile. The money was reallocated to other pressing matters at the time. So we never recovered the budget for corner. So I can only answer for the office of township regeneration. I do not know ezinye departments zaphela zisini. Because kwaphela kwado, there was a multi-department committee, steering committee, ayipusha yonke lo. Nakuya sekukhona. Imali seziredirectiwe other pressing priorities. You will recall COVID required into the PPE, into because no one really knew how to handle the pandemic. So a lot of resources were redirected towards ukumelana with the present situation. And unfortunately, the allocation center was one of the casualties. I know in future it cannot be looked at, but as we are speaking, it's not on the table because yamunka last year.
Was it for Unyakamali or Kanye?
It was Unyakamali.
Is there no possibility to pick it up along Unyakamali?
Not along Ukalayo. By the way, Unyakamali Kamaspala would July to June, not April to March. There is nothing in the pipeline for upgrade. Resources as recovery from the COVID period. It's a recovery phase. So big projects as in Jengale, because it's a big project. 10 million in one facility is not a small
so that means
project.
In terms of being waiting on the list.
No. Once the resources pin there, when they pick up, but if we are Glendo, Ibaloleki Luba, Thomas Salonga, Kaliolutin, Basha Los Banga Film Festival is celebrated once in 60 years. The office is just across the street. Challenge and Lokumus, but Ningalibali, Chabuses Ushel Romali, Ipindi, it is very important law interaction. Because Pastor Petrus is ulula for something to fall through the cracks. Can talk solo as a reminder, Zabadabanga and Nabanga. Then ulula no kumbula. And in terms of motivation, because sometimes that presents the reality is that cake bangakuthi ingaka. Le cake ingaka funeka ikise abantu abangaka. So iye na kushaya izikhalo the motivations. Okhala kakhulu ayibeke inswelo sasidathi ibe ne weight compared to ezinye kulula afumana islice sokuqala secake. But xa kuzawuweyishwa izinto i-priorities azizufana. So that is very important, that interaction. All right? Zimane zithethwa ezinto to motivate for a project. Ungarelax since ayipasile ngalanyaka. All right? No, priorities change. So kubalulekile nabantu bamane beziveza ba la need sasinayo ngo-2021 sisenayo nango 2023 because kukho ezinye ezivelileyo in the intervening period. It was
oh, good.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Just before we can again, I also wanted to boost a lot of labor. Ingabi IDP says this really for the financial year is because the thing in an art organization should be part of the stakeholders, because I understand that about on IDP there was now, but they connect arrange with stakeholders. And also another thing in Dobana motivator for the initiative. When they born in Dobana icon in the art center. In fact, as resources now, they are seconds, but they are not adequate to take it to the next level. So as much as you are waiting, funded by Becker is called a program that are compelling. Even this needs to be funded one way or the other. And also, in terms of prioritizing I think in the priorities is in the 21st century, sise intontoni i-art siyibeka ngasemva sicinga into yobana yenye yezinto ezingasemva, but it is the same art that is currently conditioning iingqondo zethu elantoba wonke umuntu apha xa icinga, they think that America is the greatest country. We have been conditioned from birth. It's important that uhlobo oqale ngayo ukuthetha kwakho ubalisa reminding us of izinto ezibalulekileyo eziphume out of this. Those are stories that we need ukusi motivate to take action, because in our mind it is embedded that a black person cannot really do anything. Sisidinga abantu abamhlophe, but namhlanje we learned that i-British Lions zazobethelwa apha eMdantsane. Zazobethelwa apha eMdantsane. So it gives us into yoba as black people we are able with as resources sinazo to excel kunaba bantu bane resources. So yeah, also my emphasis is that the priorities, they also need to be challenged. Sometimes IDP. The priorities they are not 21st century aligned.
Just coming back, IDP public hearings, they will start after the Easter break. However, in draft budget esiwayo, all right, here's the priorities ebezifakwe kwi-previous hearings ezakonyapheleka. Okay, kuzawuzwa ebantwini ke ukuthiwe kweza zicelo benizifakile kulonyaphelweni nazo ezikwazi uaccommodated. Kuyavakala lethu? All right, ndiyafuna ukuthi iyasenda khangivele. All right, I am not sure if naniyivezile kweza public hearings, but ayivelanga. So what I'm going to suggest, kwezi zizawuvela ngoku hearings mayiliftwe. Right, as Sisiva, you know, when you're talking a project, now I was able to motivate for it because I've been here, right? The passion, but it decision makers do not necessarily come here all the time. By model, so impact, yeah, by but okay, if we fund the facility. Right, what impact will it have with greater community? It is not just a comfort zone for artists, but what impact, what greater good will come out of center, a fully resourced and refurbished in terms of the bigger picture. And the people who are best able to communicate that, guess what? It's you guys. No one else is going to be your voice. Because and you can see where it will. So it is very important. Needs attend as public hearings, right? So that your voice is heard. That record. So everything raised by a question or suggested anger record why the print and circulated, and once it finds expression with documents as we going forward, it's all over with that motivation. So let's make use of those opportunities. So they are coming public hearings next month. Later in the year, the new mayor we announce a program. So in due course on. So let's be part and parcel of these activities. Zokwazi izinto zethu ziviwe zimameleke, and when you raise them, don't hold back. Impact, it is very important, because once we highlight the impact, it becomes a priority there. Because this will be the impact. This is what will happen. So that impact, and once it comes, your chances will be very good by a project. Even above the line. The line is a cut-off line. Because a priority, by the way, Baz is 100, a line equal to number 11. It means Glonyaka, implement one zona, this is above the line. IETS is actually Zalaka. So the key is make sure the way you package, the way you pitch in they above the line. But what impact to society, they often effect. I don't know about
Any other questions? Elsa?
All right.
Challenge your experience. Where are the people about the event
and goes. So advertise, and then there will be posters, there will be announcements, people promotion with radio, who's about be motor, loud hailers. Is Chingalezayo. So right? The Facebook pages, so you can pick it up. You can pick it up. Once when towards the next week, there will be a build up to it. So follow it. But there will be posters all over, and we radio is our money. Yeah.
Okay, no, man, for that, you can't about if anyone, Mr. Benmo, so if anyone was thinking to do a documentary, but not only as Benmoy, the director or the writer, but also Benmoy, so if there's anyone come over 12, if you can call, I invite close school on a personal level. And I'm quiet, because he is only known for playwright and directing. But we also need about the community.
Thanks. If you did the Kaulizile, Benomo was also a religious person. The concert. This concert. So this is this guy, Tetrayon as Ujonga, just a crafty act, but there was also a religious person, a family man. I'm sure that's how was to about quite about Negero information. Would have been no more. It was telling a family in the
Just lastly, before just a follow up from your explanation. The ESA steering committee during the establishment of that fund, that joint fund, is it still there?
Maybe my colleagues, not Kabela Novagas, so take that as a no.
I guess KCC Imbengulo lies within Oya is on limited way up to see ECDC and Zani. That's all I can take out of Lendu Kutaiteta and Rebana Sanu. That's what's needed. The end they didn't all, you set aside 10 million. That is proof for you beyond reasonable doubt that it is needed and essential. Continue with your programs and the need was there. I got really in need for that particular thing. Now who knows as also new departments in budgets and numbers got paid to make like 26 million and can be 16 is a posting. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Moving right along. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yes, I love it for you, no. It's moving to the direction of where it's supposed to go. It's 14 minutes past 11. And Sizangena, we acting masterclass. Is the School of Arts ready? Yo! Ireti School of Arts Puti then is unbelievable. Like at least they are called a motivating factor, a facial expression or body language that inspires me and saying, "Hi, that's the School of Arts, Nyani." Anyway, you're rich. Nice son. Sabule.
Uthethe ngathi ebekhona ekuseni ngokumbani kuthi presentation sibhodaphotha basayithini le nto sayenza namhlanje ihleka loo nto. Yeah, anyway, program director, thank you for introducing me to today. I also want to thank you, organizer of the event, I think, for having invited us. I think occasions of this nature, the film festivals, are actually welcomed by us in the art space. I think the more time we spend with each other together, I think something good is going to come out of that. I think that's very important. I think we visited Bandile Mbalekwa, representing the School of Arts, and I'm in Ottawa, and I'm the founder of the School of Arts, System is an founder, Pipeback. Last week, we had a similar event that we attended, which was similar to this. And one of the things I made a point of was when I was talking to the critical stakeholders of the arts space, the Department of Arts and Culture, ACPEC, ECTC, a number of those. And then I was engaging Amakosa intently because I like to understand the depth of the person who's talking about the subject. Because not only are you an official who's sitting in office, but you are a person with power. And then not only are you a person with power, but you are a person who can make things happen in the art space for artists. And for us, it's very important that the person who has that power has a lot of depth on the subject, the art. And the second thing that you also want to know is that the person who has that power has a passion for the art space. So I listened to them, and I was very happy with what I got. And when I was listening to Mr. Ngebe talking about Mdantsane, the passion he has for Mdantsane, and the portfolio is carrying yet developing Mdantsane, it made me feel that we have someone on our side. Because when you have an artist, and then the person who's sitting on the other side of the desk is on the subject, is on the board, it means we have someone on our side. It means something is going to happen, which is critical. Because you can do a very good proposal, you can write a very good business plan, but if the person who's reading the business plan and the person who's going to approve it is not on your side, doesn't matter how good it is, they're going to find a mistake, they're going to find something that is wrong with it. Until we move, the people that are on the other side are people who are on the subject, then our things are going to start to move. So it is very encouraging for me to listen to Mr. Ngebe and to hear someone who's talking about art has this on his heart. Thank you so much. Let's clap a hand for Mr. Ngebe. As I said, today is very key for us. We are an ant. If I talk about the School of Arts, in the space, the art, we are like in Boban. We're like an ant, we're a small player in this. Being as small as we are doing what a ant does. A ant kaipunyiwe, with my otati krezu, ilise kupini. That is all it does. And the more, when it makes sure that it does that duty, the queen is always happy. If the queen is happy, the survival of the entire ant generation is guaranteed. So in our space, we are small as we are, but we are certain that if we are doing what we are mandated to do, the survival of the art space, Mdantsane, the survival of the art space, Eastern Cape, is guaranteed. So let us continue, let us just do the small things that we are mandated to do. So the School of Arts is more like a preschool, if I can use such a word. It's more like a preschool, a pre-primary school of people in the art space, where we have taken a focus on developing aspiring actors, within the performing arts space. Performing art is just one of the first modules that we are looking at. Obviously, there are others because the art is very vast, it's very broad. It looks at other things, it looks at music, it looks at dance, it looks at visual arts, and it looks at various other art forms that are required. But our focus currently looks at performing arts, hopefully in the future. Taking from the work that we do and the way that we are doing it, we are probably going to move into other spheres. So School of Arts is basically that preschool, if you can go to the first page. So if you look at the first page, okay. If you look at that, the first page, there's just two things that I want to look at. First is platform, second is collaboration. School of Arts is simply a platform for people who are aspiring to be in the art space. People who are aspiring to be in the art space need an alternative platform to get into that space. All we do, our job and our mandate is to make sure that we are doing the best that we can to provide that platform for those actors. So if I can tell you a little bit of a background, how that platform got to be what it is. You know, a few years ago, a lady by the name of Toby Samzora was playing a role in the movie. There's a movie that was shot in South Africa, in the Western Cape. I think it was called Invictus. Is there anyone who knows of a movie that was called Invictus? I think Morgan Freeman was part of that. And Mrs. Boto was playing in the background, you know, assisting, doing a lot of things. And then when she was looking at all of the intensity, the things that were taking place behind that, backscene, and she had a dream and a vision to say, you know, I would like to see something eloquent, as big, as huge as Invictus, happening in the Eastern Cape. Happening in Mdantsane, if Mdantsane can be the location for it. Happening in East London, if East London can be a location for it. Happening in Gabeka, if Gabeka can be the location for it. So she had this dream, like she would like something of this nature to happen in the Eastern Cape. And she got obsessed and she had this thing that when she came back to the Eastern Cape, she wanted this thing to happen. And she used all the contacts that she has accumulated in her time in Cape Town and said, let me bring something to the Eastern Cape. Let us bring top actors to come into the Eastern Cape, introduce our youngsters, into the field, into the world of arts. How does it work? How does the industry operate? What you need to be successful in the industry. That led to the first masterclass that took place, I believe it was towards the end of 2021, I think, or 2020. I think there was a gentleman called Andy Nebulane who came to East London. I think many of you know him. He stars in Generations. I think he was just here last week. We had quite a good meeting with him on the same subject. So he came through, those youngsters that were interested in art took part in that, he showed me a few basic, how the industry works, Then the vision and the dream grew from that, Another masterclass took place, from a masterclass, kids were interested, then we started offering classes, From that it started growing, it started to be something else, people kept saying, we want this. Izane Tata, we want this, Izane Gabera, we want this, Izane Kaba, we want this, It started growing from there, actors were growing, they were learning how to do auditions, it started to move, actors were taken through to auditions, not only to auditions, but to places where, the television shows are being done, and they were looking at things, seeing things that are happening behind the scenes, and people say, we want more of this. It kept going, into what it is today. We started moving into casting and so on. I'll talk about those things a little bit later on. And then it became what it is. So I'm trying to say, as a city platform, we're understanding that the School of Arts is no longer the vision and the dream that which was in Cape Town that we brought here. Because we realized that after we kickstarted and initiated the process, other people started to take over, talent started to take over. kids started to take over, aspiring actors started to take over. And all of those people that were taking over had their own dreams for the industry, but they had no platform to get into the industry. But when they got in, they left something behind, because each and every person that comes into this vision, into this platform, brings something with them, and they leave something behind. So we started to understand that it's no longer Tobisa's thing, it's no longer Tobisa's dream, it's for everyone. So let them tell us where we should go. Let them tell us what we need to do, Let them tell us what is missing with it. So when we call it a platform, we understand that is what the School of Arts is today. It's not what was started long ago. So it is that platform for the arts, for aspiring actors to get into, and take this vision to another level. The vision is not for us. The vision is actually for the Eastern Cape to be something else, in this world of arts. It is not yet there, but we'll get there. It is also understanding that we have to do that through collaboration. We can't do that on our own. We need to work with people, professionals in the industry, so for us to move forward. So it's just two things to note there. That's acting, that's master classes, and then that's talent. So basically, talent means that we have events from time to time where aspiring actors will come through. They will do auditions, we'll tell them what to do. All we're doing by that, we're just gauging their talent, their skills base, where it is. And then we also gauging their performance, what it is that we can do with those actors. I think from then on, a person can decide, this is what I think I need to be involved in. And then the next thing that can happen, then you can be involved in our classes, so we do Saturday classes. So basically, those are just to polish you on the basics, because it's not the main thing, because we're not yet an institution like a university. Hence, we call ourselves a preschool, pre-preparation, because we understand that, for you to get there, to get to those institutions, you need to spend quite a lot of money to be there. Not everyone can afford to pay that. So we make our classes easily subscribe for 150 Rand a month. You do 4 classes during a month. That can just touch on the most important things. Just on the most important things, the most critical skills that the industry wants or demands, then you can just do those things. So that's what our classes simply do. Obviously, we're going to graduate from that, because one of the things that we did in the last meeting we had with one of the actors was to actually develop a syllabus where in the future, not so long, we're going to be starting to roll out a proper course on performing arts. That is what we developed with one of the actors. So bear with us. I think watch the space. I'm sure in April we're going to be launching the full module which talks about theatre and performance, which is what we've developed. So probably we're not going to be a preschool anymore as we are going through the processes of accreditation and so on. Then we do master classes, which is basically a very intensive course where we bring someone out from the industry who can just cover them on very critical basics of the industry, how it operates. Then obviously we do the talent stage. Okay, we can move on to the next page. And then how do we do our work? Obviously the same way I've already explained in collaborations. So we work with a number of actors, because we like people to not sit there and listen from us and hear from us how the industry works, how does it operate. We like them to hear from people that come from the industry. People who have the knowledge, background, with history, with experience. We can just tell them, we can give them life lessons about how the industry operates. So we work with all those people to ensure that the kids, in this short space of time, they can learn as much as possible in a very short space of time. Okay, move on to the next page. And then, after that has been done, we then move on into what, if it was a university or a business school, it would say, we're trying to get these people work or placing them in work. They call it work placement. In this industry, we call it casting, where you are being moved into the industry. So we make sure that we do that work. Then we do a lot of work in pre-casting. Basically, we cover pre-casting and then we do casting. So pre-casting basically means we look at all of the things that are required to prepare you for the industry, whether that is photo shoots, how to prepare for auditions, how to do things like monologue, which I'll talk about about them, everything else that is critical in preparing you for work. What is it that you need to do first before you are prepared for work? And then lastly, then we do the casting. So casting means we look for opportunities for actors, for aspiring actors, whether it's going to be a role, whether it's a background role in a television, a show, in a movie, or in an advert, things like that. We look for opportunities for you there. And then we move on to the next stage. Then these are some of the screens, because remember I said we also do casting, so we have actors that have been signed by us that are already involved in the screen space. You know, the artists that we have, I don't know if some of you recognize this lady. There's a lady called Lola Bauti, who acts in and who is a play in Channel 191. Is anyone familiar with Rebecca? Yeah. I think, is anyone familiar with this guy?
Yeah.
Does anyone know who that guy is? That guy also comes from the platform. Because remember we said we are also a platform. You know, some people will come, they are already ready to move to the next stage. Some are not ready, they've got to be prepared. So the platform's job is to ensure that everyone has access to it. They can come to a platform to be prepared. Those who are already ready, they can come through to the platform to move into the industry, okay, which is what we do. So you will see there in Bewu, also, I think you recognize this guy. I'm sure you recognize this lady somewhere there on the screens. And then since we've started June 7th way too, we are growing also now. We're in Cape Town now, we got Tembisa, Kosoweto. All of that work is not because we are saying a School of Arts wants to grow, it wants to leave Eastern Cape now and become something else. No. Eastern Cape is School of Arts has an Eastern Cape mandate. We have a mandate to develop arts in the way we see it in the Eastern Cape. But we understand that for the Eastern Cape to grow, we need to spread our wings and our reach into other locations so that we open up those opportunities for people that are here without necessarily having to leave the Eastern Cape. So when we start working with all of these people, Goma, Gauteng, Tembisa, and so on, that is what we're doing. And then one of the things that has netted us, so we've gotten one of these guys, this is one of the top support or top future actors that we got from the Western Cape. There's a gentleman called Mikey Child. Mikey Child is actually now signed up by School of Arts. He is as Islana, is as Eastern Cape. So he featured in one of the shows, I think it's called The Wife. He took part in The Wife. He's also one of our organizers now in Gauteng to develop School of Arts in Gauteng. So that is the work we do. So the platform we are opening in Gauteng is to ensure that those that are ready, Eastern Cape, that want to taste the industry there, they have a better channel to simply move into the work that we are doing in Cape Town, there, because Cape Town is more universal and more international in the TV screen, is to ensure that the channel is open to the international world, to the global market, for those artists that are ready. Remember, I emphasize the word ready. Then we can open the channel for them to get into that. So that is what we do. If we can move to the next channel. Then the reason I'm putting out those there, because I'm going to talk briefly about one of the most important basics that people need to look out for in order to get into the industry and in order to make it into the industry. And sometimes people think that if you get into the acting, and I'm getting the acting, I'm just sitting behind the scenes. A bit later, if we move on to the next stage, then the reason I'm having that slide on that, because we also new in the industry, because we're younger than 2 years. So if you're younger than 2 years in the industry, it means you're new in the industry. But we've been allowing the industry to teach us what the industry needs us to know in a short space of time. And one of the things that we are doing to fast track the process is to look at our failures. As much as we've had some great successes, actors that have come through the platform in School of Arts have gone on to be in the screen, they've gone on to be shooting, they've gone on to be on TV. But we've also got 99% of actors who didn't make it. And we spend a lot of time trying to understand why are certain actors not making it, while certain actors are making it. You know, these actors can't, yes, they can't even make it into the movie scene. They can't even make it into the telenovela scene. But they can't even make it into the adverts. You know, the advertising space, they can't even make it there because that should be something that you can easily do. So why? Why are they not making it? What is it that we are doing wrong? What is it that our actors are doing wrong? And so I wanted to just touch on that because, you know, you're going to be taught in class, this is how I need to prepare for an audition. An audition, which is a 50-50%, we are probably going to make it. We also have a chance that we're not going to make it. But there are instances there that even before you go to an audition, you might not even make it to a call to go to an audition. Yeah, you know, and let alone audition. Sometimes there are instances where to even go to an audition, you must be selected just to go to an audition to fail or pass the audition. So what are some of the things that are inhibitors, that block actors from not even making the selection to go to an audition? Because, you know, you're an artist, if you're an artist, inspiring actor, you know, there are two things that talk for you even when you're not there. The first is the visuals, how you look, how you present yourself, how you appear. That is very key. Now when you get in there, the other thing that is key is your voice, how you speak, how you project your voice, how strong and how powerful it is. If you don't have those two things, you know, you might spend years and never getting anywhere in the industry. So I won't cover the voice part and the auditions because that's done when we start to move to step one. I want to cover stage 0. The stage is what we call stage 0. Because, you know, there are times when, because I mean, I don't know how many people we've already placed from Gauteng so far in adverts, but there's a few I know that from Gauteng, those that come from Gauteng, we've already started placing. And one of the things that we are learning from the advertising agency there, the questions they ask us, they will say, you know, School of Arts, we are looking for so-and-so people. And this person must look like this, and must look like this, and so and so. They will give you a definition of the person they want, how tall the person is, and so on. And if you can't produce that which they want, it means you're already out. Can you see that you did not even get a chance to speak to the client? You did not even get a chance to say, let me give you audition tapes of my people. You do not even get a chance to do that. You will start one. On strike one, even before you move on, you're already out. They say, we will need someone who looks like this, looks like this. So what that means is that Usisi Lo has a greater potential in acting. She has the talent, she has the skill, and she has the voice. And then Uputi Lo doesn't have the same things that he has. But the only thing that is going for Uputi Lo, Uputi has got the look they want. Or Uputi has the look they want at that particular time. At that particular time, they're saying, we just want someone who looks like a gangster. I'm not saying look like a yeah, it's just an example. So, we need someone who looks like a gangster. So and so. They look at his face and they say, that's what we want. Bring him over. No auditions, no tapes, nothing. It just moves. No wardrobe. They already know more or less what he wants because they have the information. I'm going to tell you what that is. Then he moves across, upotayo shooter, usisi melambile, engatyanga phosiwe sisonga. But she has all the talent and all the potential. But uputi does not have it. We are speaking in the class. Maybe it's his first day our play session. It's his first day. We are speaking. Usisi 10 months is true. We had team. So when you think about but if you go put it, it's figured that because he has a look that they want. I'm going to put it, I shoot it, and he gets paid. Put it moves on. After put it, they say, hey, sometimes put it, we enjoyed that with him. Come again. Put up in a field, I shoot again. Usavela, usabayiza, usamanisia with auditions. And she's acing auditions, she's doing well auditions. It's just that it's not the person they want. He does not even know how to introduce himself in front of the tape. But busy that's how the industry operates. Then I bought hey, I can do this. Saying apart, I can do this. I found how to introduce himself. I found how to talk, how to do the monologue. And then it happens that at the right time, when he's just learned to do those things, but here we're going to give you a line. And if you line, I'll put the sound of Funda in monologue. I put I for my new role. Usathini usakhangela ezirole amanifela kuze manifela kuzo akhulu ubhuti afunda ukwenza line abe ne confidence, and then he gets to understand how it works, how to do a script, how to read the script, how to practice the script. Then he grows ubhuti sesaziwa sokunabantu abane favor on his side because first he opened the door because he had the look. Ubhuti moves on. Simbone ngokubhuti sekuskin sam avele kuskin sam abeke background. In terms of skills, quality and talent, ubhuti usesemva kusisi. But can you see that ubhuti has advanced far greater than usisi? Angeyavele pha kuskin sam athethe abamnike line athethe then ayothatha ka role yokuthi uthethile usisi ubhuti ayifake ku-CV. Then i-CV yakhe ngoku iyaveza uba ubhuti has done an advert nale client. Then iyatshela i-CV. And ubhuti I've also played a background role ku-Skin Sam, which is known and big. Itshela i-CV yakhe. You understand uba usashiywa msisi in the art space, but you've gone so far. Now uvele i-role critical. Let's say uGqeberha. Then uGqeberha is not going to say send your audition tapes or we want these people to audition. At Uqeberha, all we want is CVs. Then we select from CVs. Can't have a chance to over my man. But look, nale talent, look, no, they just want his CVs. Then the CV gas kaputi, you only check below, and then when you select to put a pit, eyes, which is understand, what hey, the shaggy, I go. Put for money, audition. But that time, the audition, put it, so they funded a man monologue. Say, master a monologue. It means I was to in front of the camera, each other class, the Kazak. I'm over for my role, feature role, book I'm getting in my Lebama. Sylvia getting, I came, Sylvia. He will Victor's Eastern Cape, I just a shooter, Eastern Cape, so shooting movie. Send us around who have this experience and this experience. One of them are public pictures. I go put, Put comes in, he enters in Victor's, I should say, and he aces that role because we have from their grower, is learning things. I could have from in Victor's. Put becomes the first actor to become a support. Very show when you tell over in Eastern Cape, Upututi, who's out the Paputi. Then get the action even now with Victor's. Now, in Puti, he's got everything talking for him. He moves on, he gets into Uqeberha. then the rest is history. I'm just telling you, these are sometimes how the industry operates. So sometimes it's not about how good you are, you know. Sometimes it's about other little basics, other things that need to be managed behind the scenes that you need to do well. So, universally, as a slide, what do you see in the slide? When you look at these two pictures, what is it that you see? Can you define it for me? What is it that you see there? Both those ladies want a role. Both of those ladies want a role. And then we say, please take a picture of yourself and then send it to us. Then we look at the two pictures and then we're going to decide. And then if we're going to choose between the two ladies, which of the two ladies would you choose?
Depends on the role.
Sorry?
Depends on the role.
Depends on the role. Okay, okay. Omni?
Tumba ngakhetha correct because it's easier to transform a character into character because it's simple natural. This one has been already transformed into something else.
Okay, okay. It goes. Omni?
Now say the one on the right hand side, Lona, confidence, self-confidence that is projected.
Yes.
We posture yakhe and one background setting yakhe is very clear iyamveza. The focus will not be on image, then I will be on yena kha.
Yes. Put it because you are marketing yourself as a person, and you need to ensure that in anything, in any work where you're projecting yourself, there's nothing else that takes away the attention of the person whom you are seeking the attention on. So, can you tell me, a campaign we launch it, and I good memories about the launch. Then I see this background and it reminds me of that. So my mind is already taken away from the objective. I start to think of those things. It might mean then that I might end up losing the attention that I need to be spending on Usis because the image that is given me is very busy. But don't think about anything else. But the only person that is the star of this image is myself. Yeah. So we've experienced this that actors we've done challenge search events, you know, East London, we've done Gabera, you know, we bring on a cameraman, also camera, as in a camera, at the photos. And those who are lucky to be part of those are lucky because they will be good position, and then I think School of Arts, I did not make it to the event you had at Gabera, but I'm interested to be part of the database. Okay, since you missed the photo shoot on the day, give us an image of yourself. Give us half a card, give us a full card, photo. Make sure that the background is not busy. We tell them, make sure that the background is not busy. Always choose a neutral background. It must be white. If you can't get white, it must be cream. Make sure that the photo out in that background. Instruction. Appealing the Commemorating afford in the road. I phone client 1 OT. After client 1 OT, we did 5 individuals that are going to play this role, this role, this role. Wednesday, Kuba Usisi Low Avenger would have fitted that role. But Usisi Stumele Indo Enganamia. The casting director now necklace of Inchonga, no Chonga, AI theatre. Sisa Posagane, the opportunity, say figure as I can say. So sometimes I'm bringing this up here because sometimes it's only those little things that you need to do right at the beginning that sometimes determine that the route that you take might not be as bright as it is, just because you missed a simple basic at the beginning. Because I made a very practical example, how Kuti can just come in an ace and then have an open channel to a successful career in the art space. Usisate good, a trainee, any qualification. It's like sometimes no qualification you perform in art, but the route that she takes does not take her there. So it's those things that are critical. So at the School of Arts, we emphasize this, we talk about it, we help people ensure that they can do this thing correctly. At the end of the day, it's something that you need to ensure. Let's move on to the next page. You need to ensure that we aspiring actor, South Africa in the industry. Probably you have not attended your first school, your first lesson in the School of Arts, but make sure that you are obsessed with what we can help you produce the School of Arts, which is what is called a Z card. A Z card is a very key, is a very key instrument or a very key tool that an artist should always make sure that they have in their pockets when you're moving into the space. Yamono says, was basically by short, a full no is done. Obviously, it's probably not the best example because Mrs. fully globally, we certainly support it because the space needs to be less busy. But we can help you with that and show that the space is less busy, behind it. But some of the key things that should be information that is on the palm of your hand. That many artists, never pay attention to these things. Who you are, where were you born, what is your age, why you want to know your age, what is your character fit, because at times an opportunity is going to come and then it's going to say, we're only looking for people between 40 and 45. Nothing else is being asked, 40 to 45. You need to be able to say that I can be able to match that opportunity straight away without us putting so much thought into it and so on. And so I'm just trying then to just emphasize, the basics of you being an artist is to, to project yourself, to provide a good image of yourself well before everything else is done. Make sure that you can do that. I don't think that we have enough time to go deeper. I just wanted to emphasize on that because from the things that the work that we've been doing for the past couple of months, since we've started broadening our wings, we found that the artists' needs are battling with this simple basic. They cannot do it right, and it is okay. We can help at any time as the School of Arts needs. And then lastly, before I think we close, and then I just want to say, one of the realities of the industry is that the industry is not as simple as you see it in your dream. In your vision, you see yourself as this someone who comes into the industry who's going to do this and is going to do that. And in the dream, everything happens. Everything is basic in the dream. You can do so many things when you're inside the dream. When you're sleeping at night, I don't know how many abilities a person has when you're sleeping. And when you move, when you wake up in the real world, you find that everything is not as simple as it is. Acting is just, the field that you are in acting is just like that. You might have to go through 50 auditions before you get that role that is going to ignite you into the industry. But if you don't have the heart, to go through to audition number 49, because audition number 49 was just one step away to audition 50. And audition 50 was the one that was going to get you the role. But you gave up on audition number 49 and said, this is not my industry. And then you lost that opportunity for a major role out of audition number 45, for our 50. So I'm trying to say, I just want to encourage you to understand that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but you're going to have to put a lot of effort to make sure that you can achieve the things that you want in the industry. So those are the realities of how the industry works. And those few words, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you back to Sis. If there's any question, I'm willing to take them. Thanks.
Any questions? Zanta. Very important, young people. sekuzovuka nabalele ewakuthi
Okay, ngikusiphelo manje. Ndiyabuva.
phezulwana isike
Okay.
phezulwana
Ndiyabuva ukuthi wangithetha nge-acting ne. Then ngabengicela ukubuza ke kodwa qala la kwa-producing from down zero. Ngingaba nana section. Yi-preschool ye-producers.
okay good
Okay, ndicela ukubuza manje into ezimbalwa nje. Uqala i-TV characters. Kwa School of Arts. Okwesibili, do you have like umzekela phandle no one's working and creative but got a passion? Do you have whereby you can go uyavuka uye ku School of Arts for class or anything? Because abantu baphayile uhlala endlini bewuyenza into ukwenza loo nto loruse somehow. 3, nina indawo whereby you can establish like for help there's HPCSA. Yeah? Is there a whereby you are registered under a certain body? Ukugqibela xana umuntu eye e-School of Arts ekugqibeli when esenza after law course whatever ninazo certificate now that you issue abantu so that at least there's proof